How y'all doing, everybody? It's me, Crazy Frankie, and I'd like to welcome you to my Super Bowl 60 pick. Well, we finally arrived at the final game of the 2025 regular season. It is Super Bowl 60 this upcoming Sunday in Santa Clara, California. The 60th anniversary of the Super Bowl. We finally reach up to this point here of this of the entire National Football League. Given if you know the history of it, after the merger of both the AFL and NFL, from Super Bowl I up until this point, 60 years of this game, and given the fact that it's exploded so much throughout history, we have reached an unlikely matchup here for this upcoming Super Bowl between the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks, which many of us didn't really thought these two teams would be the last two standing, given we all picked our favorites like the Buffalo Bills or the Kansas City Chiefs or the prior Super Bowl champion from last year, the Eagles. I mean, a lot of us had different. We thought those would be the teams that we're probably gonna end up in this game. But these two teams are most unlikely, and it is of course a rematch of Super Bowl 49. Everybody who's seen that game knew what happened with the Malcolm Butler interception at the end. That basically cost the Seahawks a chance at a repeat championship. Before I get into my pick, obviously, let me get in some quick thoughts from both the AFC and NFC championship games. The Broncos, they were completely depleted, and not having Bo Nix really did hurt them. And obviously, everybody can point to, the snowstorm and obviously the snow that went on later on in the game in Denver. Sean Payton's not going for 3 points. And obviously, when you think about it, both teams didn't play all that well. I mean, the Patriots only won by 3. And given that it was an offensive struggle between them and the Broncos, the Patriots just ended up winning in the end, and you got to give them their due. The NFC Championship was really more of the better game because both between the Rams and the Seahawks and went back and forth. But obviously, mistakes that the Rams made in terms of special teams and obviously Sean McVay not taking the points obviously did hurt them too. Taking 3 points in the game did end up costing them, but the Seattle Seahawks definitely played their best game. Sam Darnold obviously had one of his best games of his career, and the Seahawks are in the Super Bowl. All right. Let's now get into my Super Bowl pick. Currently, right now, Super Bowl 60, the Seattle Seahawks are currently a 4.5-point favorite. That number is expected to go down to 4, and it wouldn't surprise me if it goes to 3.5. When I look at both of these two teams, when I look at the Patriots side, given the fact that Drake May, obviously one of the contenders for NFL MVP, given that how he played his best game, not really didn't even play all his best. I should say not played his best in the playoffs. I mean, obviously the AFC Championship probably was his worst game he's had. I mean, given the fact that they beating the Chargers, I mean, and you look at and the Texans, I mean, both teams had decent defenses. I mean, Drake May was sacked a lot in both those games. In all three of the playoff games they played in between the Chargers, Texans, and the Broncos. But their offense was able to get it done. But you have to give some of the props to their defense. Their defense really up front in terms of the defensive line, and their secondary was a little bit better than what I thought, because they really held. I mean, they've held their opponents to a combined close to like only 35 points. I mean, their defense did a very good job of holding the Chargers, Texans, and the Broncos at bay, and it really, really helped them a lot to establish, despite the fact that their offense had struggled a lot in all 3 of those games. But when I look at the Patriots, you go with their. I mean, you got Drake May, who's coming into his own in his second year, and then you got people like Stevenson and Stephon Diggs doing their thing, and then Kayshon Boutte has come into his own into his own. And of course, the one guy that's really made a huge difference in their offense has been Stephon Diggs. And given the fact that for him getting into the Super Bowl, been to prior teams like the Bills and other teams he's been in, it's really been quite a journey for him. And going over the Seahawks side, when you got players like Sam Darnold, who's given to his point of his NFL career, he so far has done a fantastic job of really getting back on his feet into his career after what happened in Minnesota and leading the Seahawks into this point. But you have to give it up for players like Kenneth Walker, who they've been able to establish the run, and you got players like JSN, Cooper Kupp, and Raheem Sheed really helping him out in the passing game. So now, my thoughts on how these teams are going to win this game. For the Patriots to win, obviously Drake May has got to play much better because he was sacked a lot in those 3 playoff games, even though they got to the Super Bowl. His offensive front has got to do a much better job of protecting because the Seahawks defense is no joke. And they got to be able to get the running game really going in this game, like Stevenson and Henderson. They got to be able to run the ball effectively to really ease off the pressure on Drake May. And of course, you got Diggs, Booty to be able to do their thing in terms of the pass. But it also has to boil down to their defense. Can they get to Sam Darnold and really make him uncomfortable? For the Seahawks to win, Sam Darnold in the Super Bowl now. He's pretty much not. He hasn't really fully silenced all his critics. Think of it this way: he's passed the midterm. He's passed the midterm exam. Now it comes the final exam, and that is to win the Super Bowl. Because I feel like the worst thing for the Seahawks is, remember, Sam Darnold really hasn't had one bad game all season. He's pretty much been pretty effective all year. I think if you're a Seahawks fan, you better hope and pray that he does not have his worst game of the year and then it's in the Super Bowl. Sam Darnold probably has to play the game of his life. He's got to be very effective in the pass to be able to get it to JSN, Cooper Kupp, and Raheem Shaheed in order to really get that offense going in the passing game. Now, Kenneth Walker's got to be able to run the ball a lot because, look, he's really the only good running back they've had since they don't have Charbonnet. He's out for the year, as well as their fourth stringer, Kenny McIntosh. So it boils down to Walker and Holani to be able to run the ball and help out Sam Darnold. But I think the bigger key is Seattle's defense. They got to be able to continue the trend to get to Drake May and really, really make him uncomfortable and see if the Patriots will make any mistakes. This is going to be a very close football game, I can see. A lot of people think with Seattle's defense, this should be Seattle's football game. But given the way the Patriots have been very lucky, given their history, they become really a lucky team in terms of winning football games. But I'm going to pick the Seattle Seahawks to win this game. I think, to me, their defense will definitely get to Drake May, but it's definitely going to be a very close football game. I could see the Seahawks probably winning by 3 or 4 points here. It definitely will come down to the wire in the fourth quarter. And I see the Seahawks winning this game. I'm picking the Seahawks at -4.5. All right, everybody. That's it for my Super Bowl pick. I want to take this time to thank every one of you who has been watching my videos all season long. And I hope to be back for the 2026 NFL season. We'll see what happens down the road and what I do and what will go on with my channel, obviously, because now the YouTube community has grown so much in terms of sports. There's a lot of YouTube streamers that talk about the NFL, and it's really growing every year. A lot of them are doing their own live streams and all that. It's really become quite a community. We'll wait and see what will happen in the future and what my channel will bring because it is a competition nowadays. But I hopefully will be back to pick NFL games for the upcoming 2026 season. Okay, everybody. I will talk to you guys next season. And with other videos I might come out with in the future of my channel. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys all next season. Take care, everybody, and enjoy Super Bowl 60.